Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to tell you about one of the most unsettling mysteries connected to Bigfoot. A case that blurs the line between survival, the unknown, and something far more disturbing. In the vast Siberian taiga, where forests stretch for hundreds of miles and human presence fades into silence, a 12-year-old girl vanished without a trace. For years, her disappearance remained an unsolved tragedy until she came back. What happened to Nadia during those 2 missing years? We'll follow her story from the moment she stepped into the forest to the moment she returned, forever changed. In the mid-1970s, during the summer in the Soviet Union, a young girl went missing while picking berries in the taiga near one of the villages close to Krasnoyarsk. Nadia was 12 years old, a smart and friendly girl. She had been venturing into the taiga to gather berries and mushrooms since early childhood, either with adults or in the company of local children. For many days and nights, police, local residents, military forces, and volunteers searched for her. However, the search yielded no results. Time passed. No one hoped to ever see her alive again. But 2 years later, she returned. She was wearing the same dress she had on the last time she was seen. More accurately, the tattered remnants of it, tied together haphazardly with dry grass. Her hair was matted and tangled, her feet calloused, and her eyes watered from the bright electric light, though she could see the smallest objects in the dark with clarity. She alternated between crying and laughing, and answered questions with short phrases that terrified those around her who thought she had gone mad. Nadia was taken to a hospital as she clearly needed psychological rehabilitation. For about 2 years, doctors fought for her recovery. Despite showing all signs of full sanity, she continued to insist that everything she was saying about her 2 years of disappearance was true. On that fateful day, Nadia became absorbed in berry picking and didn't notice that she had wandered far from her friends. When she called out, no one answered, and she lost her sense of direction and didn't know where to go. She wandered through the forest for several hours. Eventually, she sat down on the soft grass under a tree, feeling herself drift off from exhaustion. She was scared and fought against the sleep overtaking her, but it was too strong. In this state of half-sleep and half-awareness, she suddenly heard a quiet voice.
Get up, and come to me.
The drowsiness vanished instantly. The quiet, rustling voice repeated the command. Nadia tensed up, trying to understand where it was coming from. She heard it again.
Don't be afraid. I won't hurt you. Come to me.
The voice came from nowhere. It seemed to echo directly in her head, bypassing her ears. As if in a dream, Nadia stood up and walked in the direction her feet were taking her. And then she heard the voice again.
Hello. Don't be afraid. I am your friend.
In the approaching twilight, she saw the silhouette of a strange creature emerge from the trees. She barely had time to get a proper look at it. All she realized was that it wasn't human, and then she fainted. She awoke in a cave, lying on a bed of dried grass. 2 creatures sat nearby. She had never seen anything like them, and couldn't have imagined they could exist. They looked like giant dogs, but their faces resembled human faces. Or, more accurately, they were dogs with ape-like heads. Their front limbs were connected to their bodies by thin folds of skin that folded along their sides, like a pouch. Nadia's head began to swim again, but the same quiet, rustling voice sounded in her mind, calming her and convincing her that she had nothing to fear, that she would have died without them, and that they understood her and were her friends. She noticed that the creatures, whom she immediately named non-humans, spoke to her without opening their mouths. Thus began her life with the creatures. She quickly realized they were a pair, She called them he and she, as they didn't introduce themselves with names, and they, as if reading her mind, accepted these names. At first, Nadia spoke to them using sounds and words, but she soon realized that it wasn't necessary. They already knew what she wanted to say. They responded to her in a very simplified mental language. They always knew what she was thinking, though they didn't always interpret her thoughts correctly. Nevertheless, communication with them was easy. The non-humans did everything to please her and even spoiled her in their way. But one topic was strictly forbidden: returning home. At the mention of it, they would become agitated, restless, and emit strange sounds, clicking, whistling, and muttering. Once, he became so angry that he stood on his hind legs, raised his front limbs resembling bat wings, and began slashing them through the air with a whistling noise, rising and falling rapidly. Another time, Nadia saw how she, without spreading her wings, hovered about half a meter off the ground while seated. During the summer, Nadia spent a lot of time wandering the forest, either alone or with one of the non-humans. They weren't afraid to leave her unsupervised because they always knew where she was. At the slightest thought of finding her way home, one of them would immediately appear beside her. What amazed Nadia the most was their ability to appear out of nowhere. All she had to do was change direction, and one of them would suddenly be there, as if they had taken off an invisibility cloak. Nadia understood that this consistency in prohibiting her from going in a certain direction could only mean one thing: people, her home, were in that direction. In the winter, she stayed inside the cave. The non-humans made her a warm nest of grass and moss, where she hibernated like a cocoon. They fed her, cleaned up after her, and chatted with her to keep her entertained. Sometimes she got sick, but never seriously. Most of the time, her ailments were minor injuries or minor colds, or stomach issues from eating unfamiliar foods. She had to learn to eat raw meat. The non-humans treated her by bringing herbs, but more often, they simply lay beside her, pressing her tightly to them for hours, without letting go, and her ailments would disappear as if by magic. Time passed, Nadia lost track of it. Then something happened that she couldn't explain. The non-humans changed drastically. In the last 2 months, they paid her little attention, only making sure she didn't leave. They seemed occupied with each other, sitting together, looking sad and talking to each other. One day, someone, she couldn't distinguish who was speaking, told her,
She will die soon.
The girl could see that she wasn't sick. Otherwise, he would have treated her, and there were no signs of serious illness, only a deep sadness. And indeed, she died. On that day, he returned alone, pacing the cave without acknowledging Nadia. Then he left, and she didn't see him for 2 days. Finally, Nadia decided to leave. On her way, she heard his voice.
Go to your own. She loved you and wanted me to let you go when she was gone.
Twice more, she heard his voice. In the evening, he said,
Rest. Don't be afraid. I'm with you.
The next day, he told her,
Turn toward the sun and keep walking straight.
On the second day, Nadia reached people. So, guys, what do you think? Is it a story of survival against all odds, with the girl's mind trying to fill in the blanks? Or was it truly an encounter with unknown beings, where Nadia became part of a world hidden from our eyes? If Bigfoot is real, then every encounter with him raises endless questions. Who or what is he, really? What abilities does he possess, and why does he have them? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.